Alright folks, so what is up? This is One Big Bug and I'm coming at you with Euro Truck Simulator 2. We're continuing on with our trip today. We're towing 23 tons of honey. We've got between 650 700 kilometers to go, and we stopped at a quarry in order to get some rest. Oh. I loaded up earlier and I ended up turning the brakes off, not kind of realizing the fact that my controller wasn't plugged in. I unplugged my controller, and they really screwed up the grip in a quarry. Oh, give me a break. There we go. Just get out of this quarry first, and then I'll talk. Alright, so I'm recording this a couple hours after I recorded the video that you watched yesterday. Basically, I recorded that video, set it to upload, and I went outside and did some weed eating in the yard, trying to keep the yard clear and straight as much as I can. And I came in, took a shower, got some lunch, which was some garbanzo beans, mixed vegetables, and a fish patty. And then I sat down, and here I am, starting to record. Hello. I had a feeling. I had a feeling. So, anyways, we're gonna take it easy here. I had to. I don't know if I mentioned this. I don't remember. I had to buy a new wire for my phone, for my cell phone, my Samsung, because well, if you hear my little dog going at it, she's playing. She's playing on the bed. She's got one of her toys and she tosses around, and eventually she sees her tail and she gets offended at it and starts attacking. First dog I've had in 40 some odd years that actually chases her tail, and it's so long she catches it and chews on it. Seriously. She does. So anyways, I forget where I was. Oh, I had to buy a new wire for my Samsung, and I bought this little, like, I don't know if it's 3 feet or 4 feet. It's just a short wire. And it's a ribbon style, not a standard wire. And I bought it because the wire I got with the plug charger for my phone was not a data carrying wire. So when I would plug it into my computer, it would recognize my phone for a minute, but then just, sorry, can't do anything with your phone. And I actually had to go online and look, and one of the most common problems is that the wire that you have for your phone charger is not actually a data carrying wire. And so that was the problem. Or at least it ended up being the problem. I didn't know until I went online, ordered it from eBay. It was like $3. They shipped it out to me. Please don't hit my truck. That's all I ask, is that you please. It also would help if I stop rolling forward. Good gravy. Can I go? Please? You are not helping matters there, biker. I'll take it. Oh, I don't need this anymore. We can go by the top one now. It arrived a couple days ago. Literally, 2 days ago. Are you gonna let me out? Thank you. And I plugged it in, and sure enough, it worked. You know, I was able to get right up and into the phone. Now, the interesting thing about my phone is that it's supposed to be a 16 gig phone. I've only installed on it a couple apps. Most of the other apps I have on there I've gotten rid of. Or uninstalled or set to basics because you can't fully install them. And I've only got 6 gigs available. 10 fucking gigs of my phone has been taken up by shit I haven't put on there and can't take off. And that's really fucking annoying. But anyways, I digress. I plugged my phone into my computer and transferred, right now, my entire library of songs onto it. I have about 300. And I'm scrambling to increase that number by at least 500 more in a very short amount of time. But anyways, I was so happy. I transferred all my songs onto my phone. I got out a pair of headphones that I have, earbuds, put them in my ears, dropped my phone in my pocket, went outside, got the weed eater ready, fired it up, and went to work with music in my ears rather than just silence or the engine running, you know, the motor on the weed eater running. And I'm talking so much I'm going 115 kilometers. Thank you. Sorry, dude. I think I tapped him. I thought I saw his hazards come on. I didn't mean to. I don't know why I took that corner poorly. But yeah, I actually was out there, and I even sang a little bit. I danced a little bit. Must have looked a fool. I would have honestly done more singing and dancing, but I'm weed eating, and it's physically demanding. And, you know, I don't, you know, I have a harder time breathing because, you know, being big and doing that work out there. So I don't have the breath for singing. And dancing, well, you know, I'm trying to weed eat. It's not the best idea in the world to try and do that. So I'm out there and I'm, you know, doing my thing, weed eating and all that. And I'm actually worried about how long I've been out there. Not thinking I'm too long, thinking, you know, I kind of feel like I want to go in, but I don't feel like I've been out here that long. Jesus, take your corners, dude. Pay attention. No, but I don't feel like I've been out here that long, so I'm just going to keep going for a little while. And I just kept weed eating and kept weed eating, and eventually I got to this point where I was like, you know what, I'm starting to get sore. I'm loving the music. You know, I'm doing good weed eating, but I'm just getting sore. I need to go in. So I pack it up, put the weed eater away, come inside with the intent on taking a shower and getting something to getting some lunch. And I'm looking at the upload that I started, and I went, So I did the math, how much time the upload had when it started versus how much time it has now, and turned out I had been outside for almost an hour and 20 minutes. Yeah. That surprised me, honestly, that I've been out there that long. I got a fly bothering me right now, and it's gonna drive me insane. He keeps landing on my arm. Mind you, I'm just out of the shower not even 20 minutes ago. So, anyways, I should have guessed. I really want to be on the inside lane here if I can help it, but I don't think I can. I'm pretty sure that, yeah, there's a car there. And why I'd want to be on the on this lane is obvious, and I know I can cut it in now, yeah. Because that lane stops rather than merging. So, I was outside weed eating, and I was getting pretty close to done. You know, I had sectioned off the area I was going to finish, got it in as straight a line as possible so it looks relatively neat, and started going, and the next thing I know, I'm going along, I'm listening to music, and my weed eater starts going, hurt, 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 and then, of course, eventually, sharp, and just stops. And I'm like, what? Is something wrong? Why did, and then it dawned on me, and I looked, I ran out of gas. Yeah, just flat ran out of gas. I've come close to running the tanks a few times, and I've only ever run the tank out on the weed eater once. Only once. And I was in like a really, I don't know, energetic. I was also angry, I think, that day, and I was just looking to focus my anger, so I went out weed eating, and I ended up running the tank out. That is exactly what I ended up doing. I ran the tank completely, you know. So I filled it up, restarted it, and it took like 2 fucking minutes. Okay, seriously. 2 minutes for me to finish it. So that's how close I had gotten to finishing where I wanted before I ran out of gas. So that felt ultimately good, although I kind of look back on the area I did, and I don't know, I just feel like I should have been able to do more in almost an hour and 20 minutes, especially running a tank of my weed eater. But the truth is, the wicks on the weed eater from yesterday, so they were a little bit short to begin with. Not very, not within needing of changing. By the time I changed them, they were really short. And I probably should have changed them considerably a while ago, which would have let me probably move faster and gotten more done. But by the time it had dawned on me, hey, I better change the wicks on this thing, I was already close to finishing an area. So I just kept going till I was done with that area. Then I went and changed the wicks, and sure enough, made a huge difference. Man, wicks on a weed eater, that just doesn't seem right. I mean, you're talking about something made of plastic that wears down very quickly, and eventually, you know, wears down to the point you have to replace it. It's not particularly expensive to buy, but it's still, it still just seems inefficient. It just seems like a way for a company to make money. Whoa, how'd I do that? What button did I press to get outside the truck? I didn't push anything on my keyboard that I know of, unless a wire hit a button or something. I don't know how that happened, guys. I seriously don't. But anyways, as I was saying, I remember a while back seeing commercials for weed eaters. They had these things, blades, that you could attach these blades to your weed eater, and that way it wouldn't run out. But the problem behind the blades were the fact that, you know, they would go dull eventually, and you'd have to sharpen them or get new blades. But then I swear at one time I've seen weed eaters, or at least something that you can put onto a weed eater that uses metal wire. Now I don't mean like this thin, you know, regular standard like wire. I don't know how to describe it. It's this thicker flexy, and it has areas where it flexes and bends, but limits how far it can bend. It was like that, and that you could use those instead. And those seem like a really good idea. You could buy them and they'd last a long time before you had to replace them. Now, even if they lasted as long as, say, buying an entire spool of plastic wicks for a weed eater, yeah, great. You're still paying the same price, so let's say I hate these random slowdowns on the highway. So let's say, I paid $20 for the wicks on the weed eater that I have, and I got like 200 feet. So let's say it lasts about as long as it takes me to run through that entire spool, and then I have to buy new wires. That's fine, and a company can still make money that way. But then you're not dealing with all the plastic that you keep throwing away. And I say that because a lot of people don't recycle, and sadly, when it comes at least to that, even though it's a small amount of plastic, I don't recycle it. It gets thrown in the trash. Cans get recycled here, bottles, some other plastics do get recycled with me, milk jugs and things like that. But for the most part, and if I go outside and I pull a shortened wick off the weed eater and replace it, not only does the old wick that I'm replacing get thrown in the trash, but then so do the smaller pieces that I nip off the edge of the new wick to keep its length, the proper set, the proper length for the weed eater it's on. And to me, that just seems like a terrible waste. There's got to be better ways. So I was just watching this news clip on IGN before I started recording. Apparently, I can't help but do that sometimes. Fortunately, it's not a huge habit. That viral video from this kid that kept using the word apparently. Apparently, AAA titles, and indeed a lot of video games that use voiceover and voice acting in general, may be delayed for an undetermined amount of time, and not just specific games, all games that use voice acting, because the Screen Actors Guild is considering a strike with voice actors to try and force publishers to negotiate a contract better or more favorable towards screen actors to voice actors, to get back-end bonuses for sales of games. Now, only the two sides know how much the bonus is, but the bonuses are basically for 2 million, 4 million, 6 million, and 8 million copies of a game sold. And then, that's where it caps. You can get 4 bonuses for every 2 million copies that a game sells, up to 8 million copies. And this is typically accompanied by an actor taking less pay for their job up front. I don't have my light, no. Taking less pay for a job up front, and then, getting the bonuses as the game sells. The companies have met twice so far, but nothing's happening. And so the Screen Actors Guild, or otherwise known as SAG, is considering a strike. And they're putting a vote forward to their members soon, when they need 75% of their members to vote yes. And several prominent actors have actually come out in favor of this. And I've got to be honest, I side with the voice actors in this. Voice acting is a massive part of many, many, many games. Fallout 4, not out yet, coming out, has more dialogue in it, 100 and some odd thousand lines of dialogue, which is more than Fallout 3 and Skyrim have combined. how many lines of dialogue do you think are in GTA 5? How good would The Witcher 3 be if you had to read with motionless lips and bobbing heads? How good of a series would Mass Effect been without Shepard being able to talk and the people he and or she acted with? Because both actors, both the male and female Shepard, did a phenomenal job and basically have major followings in terms of people who love their work. Games wouldn't be the same without voice actors. Voice actors are as important to video games as they are to full-length action, not full action, full-length feature cartoons, movies, animated movies, like Disney movies and whatnot. They're as important to video games as the music in a video game, as the graphics in the video game, as the gameplay in video games. They're an integral part. Games would not be the same without voice actors. There are plenty of games out there that don't use voice actors, but like I said, GTA 3, you were a silent protagonist. And what happened? GTA 4, we get Nico, and Nico can talk. How much better was GTA 4 over GTA 3? How much better? And I know that wasn't. How about Vice City? How about San Andreas? How much better were they because TJ could talk? I don't know the name of the main protagonist of Vice City. I got to be honest with you. But how much more were they because they added a voice actor with his own responses and his own lines? You see what I'm saying? That's exactly what I'm talking about. So I think it's a fair deal. And I don't care if it causes games to be delayed. I fully, personally support the actors. They deserve the back end. I mean, you could even look at actors who do already like big voiceover work for animated movies and whatnot. Mark Hamill. Let's take Mark Hamill, the Joker. Probably the most iconic Joker voice anywhere. You know, everyone can argue who the best Joker is or was. But the reality is, Mark Hamill, his voice is the single most recognized Joker voice anywhere, as far as I'm concerned. And to watch him perform that, and I've seen clips where they've showed it, where he performed it, is absolutely astounding. What was that? I don't know. Something came in, probably. Alright, let's go over here. Now, you can look at Mark Hamill and say, well, you know, he's gotten big paydays from doing Batman, doing the Joker, and whatnot. Yeah, that's true, but does he deserve less treatment in a video game? Does he work less hard? I mean, he may not work as long, because a video game, you come in, you get your recordings done however long it takes, and then you're done. Whereas, you know, when he was voicing the Joker for the Batman, for the different Batman series, you know, that was really long-term and ongoing. But in the end, when you're doing the actual recording itself, it's still the same. He's working just as hard. He's giving his best performance. It's not like he's trying to half-ass or cruise his way through the video game work. He's giving the same performance for Dark Knight, Arkham City, Arkham Asylum, and all of that. He's given the same performances, all of that, as he did for any Batman series that he's done. So why should it be any less for him to get paid than if he's working in the series? Now that's just picking out one particular very popular actor. There's lots of voice actors in video games who are only known for video games, and I don't know their actual names. Sadly, I'm not that much into it. But the guy and the girl, the man and woman that played Commander Shepard. What about them? How about again? How about the guy that plays Renault in The Witcher? How about him? How about the guy that plays Master Chief, or the lady that played Cortana? And all of the hard work and time and effort they put in to helping bring those characters to life. You could say Cortana would be memorable because of the way she ended up looking in the long run. Yeah, fine, whatever. But she still wouldn't be Cortana without the voice. It wouldn't be the same. We wouldn't think of Cortana the same way. We really, really wouldn't. So I don't see why publishers can't bend just a little bit and give what the SAG Guild is asking for. I know that one asks high and then one asks low and then they meet in the middle, but it's always ends up the same, that neither side actually wants to give in and try and force. The reality is, as a publisher, that's not going to work. It's more often than not, you're going to end up in a huge problem trying to fight against the people who actually give the performances. Because if you don't have them, you don't it's the same as if like the music directors went, or your game, your graphics designers quit and all that. It's the same thing. It's that important. And it's really going to put a lot of pressure on publishers, because it's also going to put a ton of pressures on developers, who end up as kind of a casualty of war in this, because they're not going to get paid. They're not going to get bonuses from their games that they're making, because they can't get the screen actors that they need to, or screen actors, their voice actors that they need to do the voiceovers for their characters. It all boils down really that easily. And like I said, I don't understand why publishers can't relent a little bit. And then I kind of think about how publishers act and what they do, and I realize, yeah, I can. No, go. Thank you. Appreciate it, but no. When you consider things like Konami, and I'm sorry, I'm with Jim Sterling on this one. Fuck Konami. Okay? Seriously, fuck Konami. Supposedly they're not working on any AAA titles. They lost Kojima, and you could tell by the Metal Gear Solid game that he was stifled and held back, and he wasn't allowed to do what he was due. The game was pushed out the door faster than it should have been. And then you look at other publishers like EA and all the different things that they do that hurt video games, and all the DLC problems, and cutting giant chunks of games out and selling them as DLC when they were actually part of the game. On disc DLC. I mean, the only company to get this right so far in terms of putting out a game and showing what it can be like if you do what you used to do and gain the customer's trust. I forget the publisher's name again. I'm sorry, I'm not like an encyclopedia about this, but the guys that made Witcher 3. How many copies have Witcher 3 sold? How popular is Witcher 3 right now? I'm sorry? And did they just put out DLC more story, increasing the game for free. Free. When, I'm sorry, what's the DLC that's supposed to come out for Metal Gear Solid 5? Horse armor. Yeah, horse armor. We all know how well the horse armor went over for Elder Scrolls Oblivion, right? Yeah, so let's put that in Metal Gear Solid fucking 5. It's ridiculous. It is utterly ridiculous. That publishers just have not learned from examples. I'm probably going to have to pull the trailer straight to get this one. Just because of that awkward rear wheel. It's causing a much larger turn than normal. But it's fine. This should get it. I hope. Even if it doesn't, if I have to... game's being exceedingly generous with that one. And excellent work! Hey, we didn't get a speeding ticket on that portion. Right. And we're getting close. Our next run will probably unlock our level 18 engines. So, we need a garage. So we can... Alright, I'm here. So I want to map out going here. No. 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 Here. To here. To here. To here. And then there. 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 Well, you know what? Yeah, that can actually work that way. If it can go this way. No, actually it can't. I have to go this way, and then this way, this way, this way, this way, and this way. Okay. I had to do 10 fucking things just to get it to point me in the direction I want to freaking go. Just so I can unlock the other two places. But yeah, I mean, The Witcher has twice now, well, 3 times proven that if you do things properly, if you don't nickel and dime your fucking customers for everything that you can squeeze out of them, if you're honest and upfront with them and give them a full game and then give them more bonuses for buying that game, they'll support you and you will not need to worry about charging for DLC and chopping the game up. People will throw their fucking money at you if you make a good game and you support it right and you do it right and you do the things you're supposed to. Yes, there was still screw-ups with the Witcher's graphics not being as good a release as they were said to be and as things were shown, but they made up for that. You know, and if you make up for that and you're honest and you're upfront about it, then fuck, man. Gamers will support you. We will be loyal to you. You want to deal with piracy? You want to deal with piracy problems? Be honest. Be upfront with your gamers. Put out a product that you promised to put out and don't try and nickel and dime for every goddamn cent that you can get. Having some transactions for a game or in a game or even for DLC is fine as long as it's not taking away from the game. The biggest example of this may be Metal Gear Solid 5. In the fact that there was supposed to be a Chapter 3. But that never ended up happening and getting cut from the game. It's obvious there's supposed to be a Chapter 3. So then, what happened? Well, don't know for sure. Seriously? Dude! You know what? I don't care. Get the fuck out of my way. I'm really amazed it didn't unlock this, and I actually just had to do that to get it to unlock. So, yeah, anyways. There's a big fear roving around, whatever you want to call it, amongst gamers and people who bought Metal Gear Solid 5, that, well, part of the problem may be Kojima wanted to add the Chapter 3 and sell it as the full game, where Konami wanted either to just push the game out and didn't want to give him the time for a Chapter 3, or they wanted to keep that part of the game and sell it as DLC. And that there was a big falling out between Kojima and Konami about that. And in the end, it caused Kojima to ultimately leave, or Konami to fire him, whichever the case may be. So there is a huge concern that the Chapter 3, which was supposed to be part of the game, and obviously supposed to be part of the game, for Metal Gear Solid will be sold as DLC. And because it wasn't finished, people believe it wasn't finished, as half-assed done DLC without Kojima actually there. You know, sometimes I really do praise Japanese video game companies, Nintendo in particular. When Nintendo started losing money and they weren't turning a profit, and things were looking bad for them, instead of doing like American companies would do, which would be to cut X amount of their underling workforce so that the higher ups could keep their big fat bonuses and checks rolling, the CEOs, the presidents, the guys in charge, the hires up took massive pay cuts in order to keep the company alive and going and work a profit, rather than cutting the underlying force. Because it is strongly believed still that if something failed, at least in Nintendo, I don't know about places like fuck Konami, at least in Nintendo, at least in this respect, that's not saying Nintendo doesn't have their issues and problems. I'm not like singing their praises and holding them up on the pedestal, going, look, Nintendo. No, I'm not. I'm really not. Trust me. No, what I am doing is saying that this is one of the things that companies can learn from. It was believed that for a product that's so popular to fail so miserably, the blame is not to be laid on the shoulders of the employees who built the product, or who programmed for the product, or anything like that. That the problem lies with the upper management who made the decisions and let things go through the way they did. And that is how to run a business. Doing things like publishing The Witcher 3 the way it did and putting it out the way it did, not chopping it up, and being honest up front and giving people a full game. That is how to do business. And sadly, video game companies have not learned this. And they get mad at video gamers for pirating and not supporting and giving, scathing reviews. It's real simple. Your examples are out there, guys. Follow them. My little girl, my little Bella, just jumped up into my lap because I rocked my chair back. Hi, sweetie. Good girl. So, anyways, let me step down off the soapbox I apparently have been on for this entire run. And let's see what we're taking on the next, our next journey, which we are here. 32-ton Caterpillar. 2. That either goes to that city, which we haven't been, or that one, which we have. Timber, uh, that goes to where we haven't been, but it's timber. 36-ton tank. That could be a short episode. That could be just a single episode, and a 36-ton tank would be interesting, too. Basic trailers, basic trailers. So it's really going to come down to the Caterpillar or the tank. I'm not going to decide right now. Leaning towards this a little bit, even though it's only 521 kilometers versus this, which is 900. Just because this is guaranteed to go somewhere we haven't been, where this, I can't tell if it goes here or, where we have been. Now, this episode has been a little short, and we have the money now, so I want to actually get another truck. And we're over level 10. So we're in this area, so I can't buy online yet. I don't have enough trucks. Um, 120. No, I don't have enough. I do, but just barely. Um, what trucks? What other two trucks do I have? I have Mercedes, don't I? Yeah, I get two basic Mercedes. So why don't we try? How much is the visiting these dealers may screw up the trailers too. I don't know. So I'm gonna have to recheck before we quit. Oh fuck! I still got that mod turned on. I gotta go turn that off. 102,000 for a basic DAF Euro 6. No, I don't want to drive it. No. Shit. No. 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 Leave. And then, oh, the recruitment agencies were there. We need a new driver. Need a new driver. Two 1.7s. You've already got a point in long distance, which is actually better. So we're going to hire her. And we're going to put her behind the wheel of our DAF. And then I want to make sure... I want to make sure that she's doing balanced right now, so she gets a point here, here, and here. And then I'm going to... And she's also got fuel economy, which is nice. Then I'm going to crank her onto that. I still have him set to focused on long distance. Make sure we set him to balanced. And you're also balanced as well now. All right, that's cool. That's cool. We're doing really good. We got full fuel economy, full long distance, and we've able to tow all three class types. We're getting our what was it, ADR, I believe it's called. I can never remember. So we just got our fourth driver. Nice. Fourth truck, fourth driver. Finally getting the company rolling a little bit. So anyways, folks, that's going to be me done for this episode as I sit here and pet my little Bella. She chills out in my arms. But that's going to be me done for this episode. I hope you've enjoyed watching this as much as I've been enjoying bringing it to you. Until next time, this is going to be One Big Bugga, and I'm going to be signing out.